So just sit in the middle of your mat on something, folded blanket or foam. You may prefer to even sit on a wooden block, just something with a bit of height so that you can allow your spine to lift. Hold on to your knees for a moment. Just allow the base of this posture to settle deeply into the support. You can draw your buttocks flesh back. So your sitting bones are facing directly down. Just take a moment here, just settling into this position. Roll your shoulders all the way back and release the shoulder blades broadly down your back. And the sides of your rib cage, the bottom side rib cage, allow them to lift up. So they're almost shooting up at about a 45-degree angle. Even higher if you can, lift your chest even more. And then bring your hands into the prayer position, Namaskarasana. Elbows down, lift your chest, and gently close your eyes. Allow your chin to be parallel to the floor. Soften around your cheekbones, releasing the skin on the cheekbones back and up. Allow your eyes to soften towards the outer corners. And with your lips gently pressed together, just slightly unhinge your lower jaw, just releasing any tension in the jaw. If those muscles in the corner of the jaw, the mandible muscles, they've been softened. Become aware of your breath now, as it gently arrives in through the nostrils, moves down the throat, the trachea, down into the lungs. And see if you can gently invite the breath deeper down and towards the abdomen area. Without controlling it, just inviting the breath deeper down into the abdomen. And allow your awareness to move down with the breath, away from the head, sinking down and towards the chest, just moving with the breath in the lungs. Let's start with the 3 Om sounds. So empty your lungs completely. Inhale. Om. Keep your chest lifted, just release your head to your heart and make your own inner acknowledgements. Keep your head down and slowly open your eyes as you release your hands, palms up into the inner knees. Just allow your eyes to slowly start to focus. And then raise your head. Keep the sides of the body and the front of the body lifting up out of the hips. But now take your left arm out to the side, walk your hands over, and then bring the other arm up and over, stretching up into that finger. You may need to bend into the left arm. So don't lean forward, rather lean slightly back, take your head slightly back, stretching up and over, straightening that right arm, flattening the palm. Press down into your left hand. Your fingers are spreading on that left hand. You can bend the elbow a little bit more if you can go further over. And now release and lengthen from the outer right hip down to that right knee. Take it down towards the floor, just gently. Hold and breathe. See if you can turn your chest a little bit more, revolving up towards the ceiling. Head back without throwing your head back. You shouldn't feel any pain or discomfort in your neck. If there is, just look forward. And then bring your arm all the way up to the floor, up and over to the floor. Lift your chest. Pause here for a moment. Press down into your fingertips. And again, lift up and out of the waist. And now slide that right hand over until you can flatten it. And then turn the other palm up to the ceiling. Bring that hand up and over, stretching over. Spread the fingers on that right hand, so flatten that palm now. So you may be able to bend that arm a little. Turn your chest, straighten that left arm. See if you can turn your chest so you can look up towards the ceiling. And now gently lengthen from your outer left hip down towards your knee, taking the knee down towards the floor. And breathe even more. Bring that left arm all the way up and over. And then again, press down onto your fingers, lift your chest. Change the crossing of your legs. Draw your buttocks flesh back. Interlace your hands as if you're holding that water in your hands and it can't escape. And then turn so your thumbs go towards you and then away from you. You turn your palms away from you, press into the middle finger. Let your thumbs touch if you can, or just cross at the thumbs if they don't touch. And now really straighten your arms. Keep lifting your chest, lifting up and out of the waist as you inhale, take your arms up. Exhale, continue with normal breathing here. See if you can allow your groins to soften and your knees to descend. And as the knees move down to the floor, lift your chest, lift the side body up away from the waist. The armpits broadening to the sides and lengthening and opening up. Inhale deeply and exhale, release, and then change. So the other little finger's closest to you. Have that bowl of water again, turn it away from you. Flatten your palms. Really press into the middle finger so you can feel the stretch in between the web of the fingers. Your arms are completely straight. Let your knees descend now down towards the floor. As you do that, feel how you can lift your chest up. Lift the side body up. Maintain that and inhale. Exhale, continue with normal breathing. Knees gently pressing down. Front, side body lifting up. And the shoulder blades, as if they are sliding down your back, release them down your back as you bring the upper arms into the shoulders. Keep your eyes soft. Inhale deeply. And exhale, release your hands forward and down. Remove whatever you're sitting on and we'll stand for the sun salutation, Surya Namaskar. Stand at the front edge of your mat. I'll show you from the side. So just position yourself so you can see if you're not familiar with the sequence, but I will talk you through it. Stand completely upright with your ankles together, ankle bones touching, extending down into your fingers. So standing in Tadasana. Lucia, you okay? Stand completely upright. Okay, cool. Roll your shoulders back, extend down into your fingers. And then take the weight onto the heel side by pressing your front thighs back. Take your abdomen broadly back. Inhale, take your arms up, reach up. And then exhale, fold forward into Uttanasana. So if your hands are onto the floor, take your hands to the shins. Move the weight onto the front of the toes as you lean forward. Release your head down. Widen your elbows. Bend your legs and step back with your right foot. Then you enter this high lunge position now. Pause here and straighten your right leg even more. Press back into the right heel. Take your hands flat to the floor and step back with your left foot. Feet are apart. Lift your heels and reach back the chest towards the legs, but keep lifting into your sitting bones. So we're into downward dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana, reaching up higher into the sitting bones. You're on the balls of your feet. Inhale deeply, and then exhale, take your heels back and down. Chest again, move it closer towards your legs. Bring your ears in line with your upper arms. Come forward into a plank position. So your shoulders are above your hands, your arms are straight, legs are straight. Bend at your elbows, come up into upward dog, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. So your chest is coming through your arms, take your shoulders back. Press onto the top of your feet, so your thighs lift from the floor. Roll over your toes, downward dog, wheels back and down. Again, bring your ears in line with your upper arms. Raise your head, look forward, step forward with your right, and then your left foot with your feet apart. Bend your knees, come up into Utkatasana. Straight arms looking forward. Inhale, join your feet and your hands, and exhale. Release your hands. Turn again for a moment. In Tadasana, upright. Completely straight, rooting down into all four corners of your feet. So often when we stand, we tend to root back down more into the heel side in this position. So bring the weight a little bit closer now onto the front of the feet. And now take your front thighs back. Move the front thighs back. Move the abdomen back. Shoulders back. Inhale, take your arms up. And exhale, fold into Uttanasana. Keep breathing. Release the top of your head down. Bend your legs and step back with your left. So into high lunge on the left side now. Straighten that left leg. See if you can straighten it even more by pressing back into your left heel. And then hands flat, step back, feet apart, Adho Mukha Shavasana, take your heels back and down. Look down to the mat with your ears in line with your upper arms. Keep your breath flowing throughout. Come forward into a plank. So be strong here. Press into your hands. Straighten your arms. Straighten your legs. Look forward. Bend your elbows as you come up into upward dog. Shoulders back. Gently tighten around the hips and the buttocks to support your lower back. And lift your thighs from the floor by pressing down into the top of your feet. Roll over your toes. Adho Mukha Shavasana again, downward dog. Keep your eyes open but soft. Raise your head and step forward with your left foot and then your right with your feet apart. Bend your knees and come up into Tadasana. Strong, fierce pose. And then inhale, join your feet and your hands. Exhale, release into Namaskarasana. And release your hands. So we'll need a bit of wall space. It can be as narrow as your mat. So we're going to play with this pose, Vasisthasana. It's quite a strong position. I'll show you let's show you the full pose first. You're going to have your feet to the wall, both feet to the wall, and then your hand not below your shoulder, a little bit further away. And then we're going to come up, and the side of the body needs to lift up away from the floor, hand to the hip, and then just now we may take the arm up. And for some of you, if you've got any shoulder complaints, just bring the hand to a right angle, and then you can still lift up, and you still focus on lifting this hip, taking the head back in line with the rest of the body, and then we may take the hand up. So both feet at the wall, one stacked on top of the other. Have your left side facing the floor. So the right side of the body is up towards the ceiling. Press both feet into the wall. So they're sort of stacked one above the other. Okay, so try it with your hand out, a little bit further out, away from you. So when you come up, it's not below your shoulder. So just bring it a little bit closer in, and then lift up. Take your hand to your hip. If it's not working for you, come down, move your hand a little bit further away. Play with the position that's going to work for your shoulder. And then lift up. So lift that left side of the body up away from the floor. You can press into the wall with your feet. If you can, take your hand up towards the ceiling. And keep your neck in line with the spine. Take your head back a little bit more if you need to. And then turn your head to look up to the thumb that's up in the air. And then slowly come down. Just rest on the side of the forearm. So remember, this is the position you can go to if you need to. Your fingers pointing forward and you lift up. So it's still working strongly, but not as much into the shoulder. Roll to the other side. So press into the wall. When you come up, you don't want your feet to come away from the wall. So press into the wall, and then when you're ready, lift up. Hand to the hip to start with, and take your head back in line with your spine. And then take your other arm up. See if you can turn your head to look up and breathe. So lift that right side that's facing the floor. Lift it up, away from the floor. Very nice. Take your head back, Henry, in line with the rest of your spine. Yes. Very nice. And then come down and rest. Nice, Chloe. So this is one we don't hold it for too long, but it's good to repeat. So change to the other side. If you have a big wall surface behind you and you're back into balance, also great to try this against the wall. And you can really lift up and open to the wall. Play with getting your hand a little bit closer towards you if you can. So otherwise, just keep your feet to the wall and lift that hip that's facing down to the floor. Lift it up higher, away from the floor. Very nice. So take your head back in line with your spine. Very nice. Come down. And then change to the other side. This is really good for developing a good sense of balance and, of course, a lot of strength in the shoulders. So when you're ready, go up again. So before you take your hand up, move your head back, quite far back, so that it's in line. The neck is in line with your spine. Yes, very nice. And really press your feet into the wall. See if you can rotate your chest up towards the ceiling and then come down. Ellie, you've got a cat below you. Carefully come down, have a rest. So it is a strong one, but it's a good one to practice. So, just to make it a little bit extra exciting, we're going to add in the next stage. So either, just have a rest while I'm talking, either you repeat what you've just done, or you add in with using a strap or your hand, where we're going to come up into the same position, and then you bend the leg that's on top, hold onto the toe with your hand or with your strap, and then you're going to take that leg up and balance. It helps if you've got a wall behind you, but otherwise if you were able to get up and balance in that way, you'll be fine. You can just take the strap. If you're not reaching the foot, just put the strap around the foot. Don't worry to put it around the toe. And then lift it up. Take your head back and out of your spine. So we'll just do that one side. So come onto your right side facing down to the floor. Press your feet to the wall. If you don't have a strap, you can use a scarf or whatever you've got. But otherwise, you're going to repeat that same position that you were in without taking that foot up. Okay, so when you're ready, lift up the side body. Find your balance. Bend the leg that's on top. Put the strap around it or hold onto your big toe. And then lift up. Very nice. Hold and breathe. Take your head back in line with your spine. Very nice. Lift the side of the waist and the hip up away from the floor. And then when you're ready, slowly come down. And change to the other side. So get your feet pressing against the wall and then come up, get your balance. And then bend that leg. Grab onto the toe or use the strap. Move your head back in line. So you bring your neck in line with the rest of your spine. It's a very strong one, so just take it at your own pace. Very nice. And then come down and rest. Just take your knees apart, big toes to touch and come into Adho Mukha Virasana. Release your head down and now bend your elbows. So relaxing your elbows and your shoulder joints. And then slowly come sit all the way up. So for those of you who are practicing the head balance, Shavasana, you can go into that. So use whatever support you're using, or you can go into the wide spread Tadasana. Remember to use the back edge of your mat and take whatever head support it is that you need. So the top of your head is going to be touching bolsters or blankets or whatever it is, or the floor. So always use that back edge of the mat. And remember, when you're doing that wide spread one, come first into this position of being halfway, so you can use this to really create length to the front of your body. And hold that position for at least 30 seconds, even to a minute. Straightening your legs, straightening your arms, allowing your collarbones to broadly move away from each other. And then when you've created that space, then take your hands back, keep looking forward, and take your head down last. So you're getting the inversion that we need. And the top of your head rests on something. Glynis, that looks great. Only lift up more into your right foot. So lift your right hip up towards your right hip. Other way, other way. Yes, lovely. Daisy, that looks nice and straight. Feet are level. And if you're doing that wide spread pose, really focus on lifting your front thighs, drawing them up towards your front hips. So you can feel your kneecaps go into the joints. But just be aware of any sort of hypermobility. If you have that, be careful not to press the kneecaps in too deeply. So you have to find that balance of not overextending your legs. Keishi, that looks great. Yeah, and everyone with their head down in Prasarita looks good. You do want your head to touch something, so it's good to have whatever you can find. And it's nice just play around with things that you can find at home that become quite a stable sort of surface area. So the top of your head can connect to it without straining. You don't want too much weight on the top of your head in the wide spread pose. And remember, for those of you up in Shavasana, the head balance, really tighten around your hips. And then from there, lengthen up towards your inner ankles. Very nice. And for those of you in the wide spread pose, move your hands forward now. So raise your head and walk your hands further forward, straighten your arms, and now just release your head so that your ears are next to your upper arms. So if you can reach a little bit further forward into your fingers, keep your legs straight. So for those of you in this position with Prasarita, see that the outer upper arms, so the outer upper arms are moving down towards the floor. And then slide your hands closer back towards you. Bring your hands below your shoulders and look forward. So you in that halfway position again, creating length to the front of your body. You're hitting the head balance, slowly start to come down. And those of you in the widespread prasarita, take your hands to your hips. Inhale, lift your chest so you come to standing. And now heel toe in. Just slowly heel toe in until you're standing all the way upright. And you can come down onto your mat. So those coming out of head balance, just take some time in Adho Mukha Virasana. If you're coming out of prasarita and you're feeling a little bit dizzy, it's great. Just to take your head down, knees apart, bend in your elbows. And remember, those coming out who have just come out of the head balance, really release the shoulders down your back. So you're removing that trapezius muscle from up in the neck, down your back. And then come sit all the way up. So for this one, you'll need to fold one side of the mat, unless you're on a carpet below, then it will be fine, it's soft enough. And then come kneeling onto that folded part of your mat. The knees are together, feet are together. Take your hands to your hips, and then turn your right leg all the way out. Just make it at a 90-degree angle for now. Lift your chest. So you're going to your right leg is out. From here, straighten that leg and lift the toes up towards the ceiling. Keep your chest facing forward, elbows back, toes pointing back. And from here, be careful not to turn towards that leg. Keep your chest facing forward. Take your hand palm facing up and start to slide down towards that foot. So wherever you get to. So you may get all the way to the foot, that's fine. Otherwise your shin or just below your knee. Hold on to that left hip with your hand and now turn. Pull that elbow back behind you. Turn your chest. Take your head back. Not too far back, so it's just in line with your spine. And now bring the other arm up and stretch over. Revolve your chest up towards the ceiling. So that bent leg, try and not let it follow you. Let it stay in that position. Bring that upper arm up. Come all the way up. Bend both legs. And then change to the other side. So you can either turn around or move to the other end of your mat. So this side now, so this is your right side. So imagine it's stuck against a wall here. There's glue here and it's not going to move. So when you lean over, don't let that hip follow. Take your hands to your hips and take your left foot out. Toes pointing up to the ceiling. See that it's in line with this hip. It's not coming forward or too far back. And get your chest forward. So it's important to keep the chest in that position. Take your left hand out to the side. Keep the side of the right body stayed and fixed where it is. And slowly slide over to your left. Take your head back in line with your spine. And now bring your right arm up and over. Stretch up over into the fingers. Turn your chest. Breathe. So this is called Parigasana, also known as the latch of a gate. Keep breathing. Keep that extended leg straightening, the heel moving away from the toes up to the ceiling. And then bring the upper arm up, come all the way back, and bring your knees together, heels together. Just sit back for a moment. Keep your chest lifted. Let your eyes soften and look down towards the floor. So we'll need a little bit more wall space again. Have either a brick or you can use some folded blankets. You can also take your mat. If you need a bit more height, you can roll your mat and be on your mat. So you don't need a second mat. You could be on it like that. We want to have the heels onto the support, slightly apart, and then you'll need a bit of wall space next to you. So just come into that position. Feet slightly apart. And then turn to the side, to the wall side, take your hand behind you and turn so that you can twist. Hook the elbow onto the outside of the knee. See if you can turn even more. Look over your shoulder and breathe. Try and keep your knees together. One's not moving too far away from the other. And then come back to the center. Lift your chest, just hold onto your knees. Really lift and lengthen your front body. And now hook the arm onto the outside of that knee. So you hook it in there, press against that knee. Other arm just to the hand to the hip, and then turn. Turn, 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 turn. If you can turn a little bit more, press that knee with the elbow. So this is a variation of Tadasana. And then release. Turn so that you have the other side to the wall. Heels up onto the support, feet slightly apart. So you're close enough to the wall that you can really use it for leverage to turn. So turn so the outside of the elbows onto that knee against the knee that's next to the wall. And then turn your chest. Press with that elbow into that knee. Turn even more. Breathe. Lift your chest. But trying to keep as close as you can with the torso to the body, but lifting the chest up the wall. And then release. Lift your chest again, hold onto your knees. Inhale deeply and exhale, hook the elbow onto the outside of the other knee now, hands to the hip and turn. So you're keeping the side of the torso or the front of the torso towards that thigh, but you're turning your chest up and open your neck, up towards the ceiling. Breathe. And then release. Let's come off the support. Let's sit for a moment on your heels. So we're going to do some of the abdominal Uddara Akunchana work. Have a strap nearby, and then just come sit on your mat with your knees bent. So what we're going to do is we're going to have our legs up to 90 degrees. Anybody with any back problems, please shuffle a little bit closer to the wall so that you've got the option of taking your legs to the wall and stopping about there. So at about 45-degree angle or so. But if you don't have any back problems, you won't need that wall space, but have a strap. So lie down, legs are bent. Tuck your shoulders all the way down your back, and then release your buttocks flesh away from you. So you're lying flat on the floor. Bend your legs and take the strap around the middle of the feet. Keep your feet together. Hold on the strap so that your arms are straight. So even if it's a scarf or whatever it is, you want your shoulders to be on the floor, arms straight. So adjust the grip on the strap so that you end up in that position. Move your heels slightly away from you. You want to end up with a right angle. That your heels are above your hips. Gently pull on the strap as you push your feet up, opening into the strap. So if there's anybody with any back problems, especially the lower back, you're going to keep using the strap, and the rest of us just release the strap, keep your legs where they are, take your arms up and overhead behind you. just behind you with your palms facing up, legs are still straight. And now lower your legs away from you at about 70 degrees and stop. If the strap falls off, don't worry. Keep your shoulder blades broadly spreading to the floor. And now take your legs a little bit lower, so the strap will fall off here, 45 degrees. Let the abdomen broadly spread back to the back body. Hold and breathe. Legs are straight. Bring them up to 70 degrees. See if you can spread the abdomen broadly back towards the spine. Bring your legs back to 90 degrees. Bend your knees. And then just hold at the top of your shins. Even if you've got the strap, you can do this now. Take your hands behind you now. So again, palms facing up. Extend your legs up to 90 degrees. For a moment, lift your heels higher than your feet. Draw your toes towards you. So you really open the back of your legs. If you're using the strap, just keep going with the strap. And now extend up into the balls of your feet so they're higher than your heels. Straighten your legs. Take them down to 70 degrees. Breathe as you let the abdomen spread back. Take your legs to 45 degrees. Keep breathing, spreading the abdominal area back up to 70 degrees. Back up to 90 degrees. Let the heads of the femur sink down into the hips. And then bend your knees. Hold at the top of your shins. Draw your knees into your chest. And gently roll side to side. You can either roll to your side to come up or cross your ankles. It's quite fun doing this. Cross your ankles, bring your feet over your head and then roll to sit up. And just pause there for a moment. So the next one, it's called the boat. Some of us may need the strap, but let's just give this all a go. So sit with your legs bent. You can have your feet together, but of course, any hot flushes, menopause, just take your feet apart. Any back problems, take your feet apart. Lean back. As you lean back, you can feel the abdominal walls starting to engage. And then from here, place your fingers on the floor. Lean back a little bit more until you can lift your legs so your shins are parallel to the floor. So pause here. For some of us, this will be our personal maximum. And again, it's not long holds, it's short holds. So we rather repeat. Straighten your arms, palms facing each other. Keep looking at your feet. If you can now, straighten your legs. Keep breathing. So Paripurna Navasana. It's the boat. See if you can move the walls of the abdominal back. Spread them broadly back. Straighten your legs. Bend your knees, sit up, hold on to the top of your shins, lift your chest, release your shoulders down your back. So find what works for you. There are some variations with the strap, so if you're battling with this one, just message me afterwards and I can show you some variations to work with because this is such an important one for all of us. It's not only the front core, it's the back core. Lean back. Now take your hands to face each other. Lean back a little bit more. Take your shins parallel to the floor. Keep looking at your feet, breathing. And then straighten your legs. Again, Paripurna Navasana. Breathing, straightening your legs, broadening the abdominal area broadly back. Very nice. Bend your legs, hold onto your shins again, lift your chest, roll your shoulders back. So that's the boat. And we're going to do the half boat. So just one more round of these abdominal or Udara Akunchana. So if you saw now, when I was doing the boat, see how the feet are above the head. So this next one, the half boat, will be slightly different. We'll have our hands behind our head. As we lean back, we take our feet forward, but our toes are in line now with our head. The abdominal area broadly spreads back. Okay, so bend your legs. Let's do that together. Take your hands behind your head. Lean back. As you lean back, take your legs forward, straightening your legs. Toes in line at the top of your head. Abdominal area broadly spreading back. And then bend your knees, sit up, hold onto your knees again, lift your chest. So it's quite a deep connection of into the muscles, also the psoas muscle. So it's quite a strong action, but it's a good one to do. So let's just do that one more time. So hands behind your head. Lean back. As you lean back, straighten your legs. Look to your toes. Keep your eyes soft and breathe. Very nice. Breathing softly. Defocus your eyes, looking at your toes. See if you can spread the abdomen broadly back. And then come sit all the way up. Hold on to your knees. Just come onto all fours and just have a welcomed release in downward dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Lift up. Take your heels back and down. So you can see we're almost doing the mirror image of what we were doing with the butts on the floor in the boat. And you can see how much how the abdomen now is soft and how much it needs to work and how strong those muscles are actually to hold us up in that position we were in earlier. And then bend your knees, come into Adho Mukha Virasana, so knees to the outer edge of your mat, sit back onto your heels, take your head down. Just bend your arms so you can rest your forehead onto your folded arms. For those of you who are practicing the head balance, I'm giving you the option of either doing that, you can go into that now, or you can join us for Setsu Bandha. So I know we don't all have all the yoga props and we are making do. I'll just show you if you do have the props, you can take 3 or 4 foams. Those of you who don't have the foams will have some blankets or towels, something that's firmly stacked. So the blocks are optional. I know we all don't have blocks. And we'll take them to the wall. You sit on the support. And when you lie back, remember, keep your legs bent. Lift up so your sacrum is on the support. And then you lie back, taking your shoulders onto the floor, making sure the support is under the sacrum, then the feet go up onto the blocks. If you don't have the blocks, you're going to just keep your legs bent, and when you are ready, you can see if you can straighten your legs, depending on where you get to, so go to your personal maximum. Maybe you stay with your legs bent, so that's also fine. Just see what you can do there. Find what you can substitute. I do have spare props, so if anybody wants to borrow, please just private message me, and I'm sure we could pass in the parking lot somewhere, or we can hand over. I'll have my sanitizer there to spray everything for you, but you are welcome. Okay, so go up into it when you're ready. Ah, that's very clever, Karine. So she's turned a stool over onto its side and then using that for her feet to go up onto as blocks. Very industrious. Yeah, looks good. And just remember that when you inset bandha, your heels are pressing into the floor for the support and your toes must point up. If your toes aren't pointing up, then your knees aren't pointing up and the entire leg is rolling out to the sides. So you could, next time, Karine, even add a folded blanket over that just so you don't slip. But that's a very good idea. It's a perfect height. So you really are on top of your shoulders. And the dorsal region of your thoracic spine, so that's the top spine, that is moving up into your chest, opening your chest. Collarbones spreading away from each other. So that's the only work to be done in this pose. And for the rest of it, you can relax into the shape, become this shape, this asana, this bridge. Yeah, you can put a belt around the top of the thighs. It's also a lovely release. And please feel free to send any pictures of any props or anything or poses that you're in if you're not sure about them. And if you don't have your feet on something, the legs are bent, you can just slowly slide your feet away from you. See what works for you, but listen to your back. Listen to, if there's any torque there, then just bend your legs, put your feet on the floor and keep them that way. And now bend your legs, put your feet onto the floor. So never be in a hurry to come out of this. Press down into your feet and lift your pelvis high off the support. And hold it there. You can hold it there. You really engage the buttocks muscles to lift the pelvis. Slowly slide the props out without turning your hips. Try and slowly take them out to the sides, but holding with the buttocks, keeping the hips up, keeping the pelvis lifted. And then once you've taken the props out, slowly come down. Lengthen the lower back towards the tailbone, towards your feet. Vertebra by vertebra coming down to the floor. Now move your feet as wide apart as the mat would be, and then let your knees touch each other. So feet as wide apart as the mat, and let your knees come in towards each other. That's it. So that in itself is a lovely release. So if you've got a good, strong, healthy back at the moment, it just feels good. But if you're battling with your back, it is the most delicious release. Really helps to broaden and open in the sacrum area. When you're ready, roll over and prepare for Shavasana to relax. Have something to cover your eyes if you've got. So the minimum, please, is just something underneath the back of your head. You can have a bolster under the back of your legs if you want. You can put your calves up onto a chair. If you need any help with your back, that's a great release. Make sure you are warm enough. And see that you are lying straight on your mat. So once you've tucked your shoulders under and removed your buttocks flesh down away from you, then you can be still. Let your shoulders rest down broadly to the floor. The outer corners of the shoulder blades down to the floor. Let your inner eyes rest to the back of your head, and the outer eyes rest to the temples. Soften the temples. Relax and soften the root of the tongue. Let your lips be full and soft, and the mouth cavity vast. And bring the awareness of the breath down to the abdomen again, allowing the exhalations to be longer. So focusing on the exhalations down, drawing them down into the abdomen. So as the exhalations become longer, broadly spreading the back of the body into the earth. And now let go even of the breath, let go completely. Now bring your attention back to your breath and focus more on the inhalation. Allowing the inhalation to be slightly deeper and just sigh the out breath out. Then fold your arms and bring your hands into the upper abdomen area, so more towards the solar plexus. So in Sanskrit, this is Manipuraka chakra, or the solar plexus, and this is a yellow color. This connects us to solar energy. So in these Udara Akunchana, these poses we were doing today, we're bringing in the internal fire. This provides a sense of willpower, determination, and heat within us. This is our identity, our personality and ego. If it's unbalanced, there's low self-esteem and stress. When it's balanced, we're capable, we're confident. Bend your knees and roll over to your right and just stay there for a moment as you allow your eyes to focus. And BKS Iyengar, the founder of Iyengar Yoga, it's got a beautiful quote I'll read to you. Change is not something that we should fear. Rather, it is something that we should welcome. For without change, nothing in this world would ever grow or blossom. And no one in this world would ever move forward to become the person they're meant to be. Slowly sit all the way up and sit on something. Sit again with your legs crossed, hands into the prayer position in Atmanjali Mudra. Lift your chest and your heart up and release your head down. Have a moment to yourself. Allow the outer corners of your mouth to lift up. Filled with a deep sense of love and gratitude. Namaste, everybody. Thank you. Have the most awesome day. Happy Monday.